What's up? What's up? Lord Skunk here, LordSkunk.com. Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes live show. We are in full effect. We got a great show for you tonight. This is the Ultimate Ship Guides live show. We just launched, or just actually updated, the Ultimate Ship Guide on LordSkunk.com. So we're going to go through and check that out. We got tons of great stuff in the show tonight. Great announcements, great news. Thanks everybody for tuning in. First off, I want to thank all of our patrons. Thank you so much. They're the ones scrolling up there at the bottom, I think on this screen. Yep, at the bottom. Support the live show and content for $1 a month. That's a quarter a live show. Details at lordskunk.com/support. Please, please, please check that out. And thank you again to all of our patrons. Amazing stuff that they do. Happy to announce LordSkunk.com and the live show just received 2 new sponsors, Gamefly and Loot Crate. Very excited about that. Thank you to them for liking, obviously, what we do here and what we're going to continue to do. And they're only going to help us grow and get stronger and get better. So really appreciate that. Gamefly puts video games where they belong, in the hands of the gamers who love them. The Gamefly website and mobile app for iPhone, iPad, and Android all make it easier than ever to buy, rent, and play the games you love for less. Get 1 month free for all LordSkunk.com viewers when you sign up for Gamefly today at GameflyOffer.com/LordSkunk. So it's a special thing they're doing for all the viewers, so get a month free when you sign up for Gamefly. And for me personally, for gaming, I love console games. I have a PS4, I got an Xbox, I got a Wii, I got all these different game systems, but the problem is that to go buy a new game, it's like $60 every time one comes out, and it seems like I'll either play it a little bit and not like it or whatever, so I have this whole shelf full of console games I never play. So I really like the Gamefly model, where you basically just get to rent a game. You do the monthly subscription, you get the game, you play it. When you're done with it, you send it back. It's awesome. So it's a really cool thing that they have. So make sure you check that out. Loot Crate. Loot Crate has simple plans, affordable prices. Receive an epic crate every month without any long-term plan. Cancel at any time. Get 10% off for all LordSkunk.com viewers when you order your Loot Crate today at trylootcrate.com/LordSkunk and use promo code BRIDGE10. So make sure you check that out. That'd be a great Christmas gift for the kids or yourself. I'm sure your girlfriend would love that if she showed up with her monthly Loot Crates for Christmas. So make sure you get over there and check that out. Trylootcrate.com, LordSkunk. Again, there's still time to enter the $100 gift card giveaway for a very skunky Christmas. The winner will be drawn on December 23rd on this very live show. You can get over that at lordskunk.com/gift card to enter today. You get that $100, man. Why wouldn't you get it? I mean, it's that simple. It only takes you a minute to get set up. If you have a question you want answered on the live show, follow at LordSkunk1 on Twitter and tweet with #AskSkunk. We will answer those at the end of the show. So jam-packed show for you guys today. So tonight's show, we're going to talk about the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes weekly news, the weekly meta report, the top 10 list for the week. We're going to be looking at capital ships and the ships to farm or start farming first for early game. It's a little guide that we put together, so it's kind of a top 10/guide. I think it's actually technically a top 9, but we'll let it slide this week. The new Ultimate Ship Guide was released on LordSkunk.com. A detailed overview. We're going to go in-depth into this guide. It's crazy. Anything that you want to know about ships is going to be in there. And plus, the great news is, just like our AAT tank takedown guide, we will be updating this. We'll be updating this throughout the weeks, the months to come. So we have all the great ship news and all the great stuff that we need to know when it comes to these ships. And we're going to go over questions and answers at the end of the show. So get those questions in. We'll be glad to answer those for you. I see we got quite a few that we built up over the week. And just keep in mind, you don't have to do these during the show. You can actually do these throughout the week. If you think of something you want to ask, feel free to tweet that out, and we'll be glad to answer that on Friday on the show. So Star Wars Galaxy Heroes news report. Okay, the most recent squad PvP tournament just concluded this week. Congratulations to all 11 people in the world to unlock Darth Vader's TIE Advanced X1. It was a very difficult one this time around. Not as many people who ranked in the top were able to get a full unlock, unlike previous tournaments in the past. So congratulations to them. We do have a special guest tonight, Ariston from Team Skunk. He did happen to unlock the TIE Advanced, so we'll hear from him a little bit later in the show to hear about the TIE Advanced X1 that he got. We'll get to that when we get into our ships, because that'll be coming up when we look at the ships guide. The news that was released, I just did one update this week. It was a smaller update. Obviously, they did a huge update last week, so smaller update this week, which thankfully so, because there's just so much ship stuff to go through tonight that I didn't want to bog it down. So they released this building and advancement materials have been added to the following locations. Cantina nodes starting from stage 5 1 energy spend gives 100 building materials. Okay, these are for ships. PvE light side, starting from stage 7, 1 energy spend gives 50 building materials. Same thing for dark side, stage 7, 1 energy spend gives 50 building materials. Cantina nodes, starting from stage 5, which unfortunately for those of us that are still farming TIE Fighter Pilot, which is in stage 4, we won't get this, but in stage 5 and up, it's going to be 1 energy spend gives 1 star XP droid. PvE light, starting from stage 7, 2 energy spend gives 1 1-star XP droid, and then the same thing for dark for the XP droids, which obviously it's going to take a lot of resources to level these ships up, and we'll talk about that in the guide when we get to that. Some bugs that they fixed this week. Resistance pilot crew shards now cost 400 fleet arena tokens in the fleet shipments, as do all the other crew shards. Fixed an issue where a prompt to activate the Imperial TIE Fighter appeared each time upon login. The train to ship daily activity has been removed for players at level 85. Nice. That's good. It's good to hear. Team Skunk is making the run for the guild leaderboards for December. So want to thank all of the Team Skunk Guild leadership, all the Team Skunk members. It was a crazy, crazy, crazy day yesterday of just raids upon raids upon raids. I don't even know how many raids we did, but it was crazy. So we're making the run for that to finish out the month strong for December for Team Skunk. Now, we also have Talon with us, who is another guild leader of a Team Skunk Guild, and McLeod, who is a guild leader of a Team Skunk Guild. They're with us tonight, and they're going to give us a little quick update on how their guilds are doing and how some of the other guilds in Team Skunk are coming up and where they're at in their raid status. How you guys looking?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Team Skunk Psy went heroic this week. We did our first run, and we crushed it. So that was pretty good.
Very good.
Yeah, it was really awesome. I was super excited to run that heroic. So congratulations.
Yeah, so we brought up our
congratulations to McLeod. Thank you myself.
Yeah, so a big shout out goes to Talon right there, and good old Maurice. Really instrumental in bringing a culmination of about 3 or 4 guilds into a merger to create one heroic team, and then a bunch of pre-heroics from everyone left over, who are probably going to get there real soon as well. So this program is working out real good with kind of mergers and leveling everyone out to the right kind of guild they need to be in, and just everyone benefits. So that's really good news for the community and everyone getting into the heroic status sooner than later.
Yeah, and a big shout out to X and to Pi, who are actually just on the cusp. They're going heroic this week, so congratulations ahead of time, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we put together the guild community that we have over at Team Skunk. So if you're interested in joining the guild, make sure you head over to teamskunk.com. We do have guilds for all different levels and play styles. Now, the most important thing in our community is making sure that we can move people in the right places so we can attack this content. The beautiful thing about Team Skunk is that if you're a high-level player, you're not stuck in a low-level guild. You have the opportunity to move around within our community, which is pretty cool. So we can put in there different time. We got different time zone, different resets, different things of that nature. So it's really cool. I'm glad I predicted this when we had all this stress and all this craziness that was going on when the AAT was released. Everybody was freaking out. I said, hey, just give it a month. It's been just over, almost exactly a little over exactly 1 month. It was a month on the 20, I believe it was the 21st. I'm sorry, I think it was the 21st. I'm not sure. So it's been a little bit over that. But I said, just give it a little over a month, and we'll all be good. Everybody will be moving towards heroic, and here we are. We're moving towards heroic. So I'm really excited and really thankful about that. And thankful to all the leaders that take all the time and effort to put that stuff together and coordinate and build those teams. So hats off to them. Now let's do this. We're going to be looking at the Ultimate Star Wars Galaxy Hero Ship Guide. It's brought to you by LoreSkunk.com and the members of Team Skunk. Special thanks to Mage Ducky of Team Skunk for putting the guide together. You can find that guide over at LoreSkunk.com/ships. But first, the first thing we want to do is we want to get into the meta report. McLeod, you ready to bring us that weekly meta report?
Yeah, good to go.
All right, let me just flip over to that screen. All right, got that up. We're going to start with the leaders, correct?
Right, as we always do, leading from the front. And big breaking news. Okay, we took a week off last week because of the ships, obviously. So there's been a lot of movement. We've had 2 weeks worth of stuff going on. And what we did talk about last week was some updates and some reworks on some characters. And breaking into the top 10 is Boba Fett making an appearance, finally getting some love there. This adjustment on Boba Fett has probably done a world of good, and anyone who had him already worked up is apparently reaping the benefits, because he's not only just getting in there, he's getting in there into, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 places from the bottom. So coming in strong is Boba Fett. And the other big breaking news on the leader front is Lando Calrissian has dropped out of the top 3 leaders for the first time in as long as we've been doing this, I guess. So it's looking like Wedge Antilles, Emperor Palpatine made a bit of a run there, and Rex has taken over and pushed Lando down into 4th position for top 10 leaders. Not much else there to report apart from the emergence of Boba Fett there and a little drop down for Lando. So it looks like there is a shift. All these reworks and everything, it's creating some new comps and some interesting tactics in Arena. So there you go. We've got some real interesting stuff going on in the meta report here for the leaders this week.
All right, we flipping over to members.
Yep, and we go to members, and we have something else there too. So Shore Trooper shot right up the charts. He was coming in and maybe kind of battling for the bottom spots there in the squad member meta, but he is shot right up there, and he is in 3rd position as one of the most useful members in Arena right now. So that's the big breaking news from the squad member makeup. There's not much difference otherwise. Yep, that's pretty much it. So the big news there is Lando dropping out of the top spots, the emergence of Shore Trooper. I guess now that he's a little more available, they got those packs out, or people have just figured out how to level him up and get his gear in there, because that's quite a bit of a grind to farm up all his gear. So yeah.
Did any of you guys buy that Shore Trooper Rogue One pack? Didn't you guys get that?
I did not. I already got him from the tournament, so he's still good at 4 or 5 star. So depending on how hard your shard is, or if everyone's farmed up all those other new things from the tournaments, you may or may not be needing to buy those packs. But for those who didn't and want quick access to that and want to throw a few crystals that way, then yeah, he is now available, and you'll get a nice little bump for getting those Pathfinder shards as well at the same time, as well as a healthy chunk of credits, I believe. So it's a reasonable pack.
You're guaranteed to get them. You're guaranteed to get both of them to 7 star if you do it every day. I think you can get 2 packs a day. Just do the math on it. But I mean, you don't have to do all of them to get them if you already have those characters unlocked, which you should have Pathfinder unlocked from the daily login. And then
and I know everyone's been doing this kind of crystal math versus materials or credits or whatever credit it is for Cantina. If you look at it this way, how many crystals are you going to throw towards farming something from a Cantina node versus you're guaranteed to get those 10? So you might be spending a little more up front, but if you space it out over time, the value for those shards is pretty good for a pack. And normally not that great, but I guess they're going for a big generous push with all the Rogue One stuff. So think about it that way. If you're going to spend crystals to farm up all these various characters that they've been dropping into Cantina versus guaranteed charge for sure, then it's pretty good value.
Yeah, I didn't get any of the pack shit. I was just doing some of the math on it. So we got time left. There's time left on it to get in on those. So it still remains to be seen for me. So we'll see. But my Shore Trooper is 4 star. He is gear 11. He does good enough for me, I think, in my arena when I need him. So he'll tide me over for that. But yeah, if you don't have him and you want him, that's a good way to make sure that you get him. So good stuff there.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it. So we got Boba Fett on there. We got some shakeups this week. So that's cool, man.
Yeah, some good movement there. So exciting things happening in the meta report. And we'll see if anything happens again next week, because obviously we had 2 weeks worth of stuff happening. So we'll see if it stays stable or there's some more interesting things going on by then.
So this is the LordSkunk.com top 10 list of the week, sponsored by Loot Crate. Get 10% off from LordSkunk at http://LordSkunk.com/Loot Crate, or you can just go to LordSkunk.com/Loot Crate. It's that easy. So let's take a look at the top 10 list. Now this is technically a top 9 list, is it not?
Well, technically it is a top 6 list of the ships, and then we're going to rank. Yeah, then we're going to rank the capital ships for you. So I don't know if you caught that before we lost the stream there. But yeah, that's what this one is, because we thought it's a little early. No one still figured this all out. So top 6, and then we're going to rank the capitals for you.
All right, top 6. Now, keep in mind you do need 5 dark side and 5 light side ships. And this is the capital ships and ships to start farming first early game guide notes. Ships are a huge, rapidly evolving content expansion that has forced us to consider farming characters we were trying to ignore and giving us yet another opportunity to immerse ourselves in the world of Star Wars. When faced with a huge number of options of where to farm first, this is a list that gives some general direction to go with early on in the game. All right, so let's take a look. So now we're starting at number 6, okay? So number 6 are the characters, and then we'll get into the capital ships in a minute. So number 6, Geonosian Soldier Starfighter. This is a dark side ship, a perfect pairing with an Akbar lead. Geonosian Soldier provides and assists beefy health and protection, and a Captain Phasma-like ability to attack outside of his turn. Stick him with other separatists for maximum damage. You can get him in fleet shipments, galactic war shipments, 9D light side hard node for Geonosian Soldier Starfighter. Coming in at number 5, Darth Maul's Scimitar. It's a dark side ship. This ship is a long, slow farm, but if you have a geared Maul, you will be rewarded with a dynamic reinforcement ship that hides damaged allies, provides huge damage buffs to the whole team, and spam targets lock on enemy reinforcements right as they enter the battle. The only way to get Darth Maul Scimitar currently is through fleet shipments or if you purchase the data cards. Number 4, Poe Dameron's X-Wing. Poe Dameron's X-Wing is a light side ship. This ship would be much higher on the list if it was easier to farm. Poe's self-buffs Foresight has enormous special damage to damaged foes and is a fast and tanky to boot. Bring him in as a reinforcement or buff him with Retribution and you will get a huge damage at low star levels. Again, this is a ship that's only available in fleet shipments or in the fleet data cards. First Order TIE Fighter. A dark side ship, massive damage on the special attack with the ability to immediately reset the cooldown and a chance to double tap the basic attack. This glass cannon is a perfect assist with huge burst damage potential. His biggest downside is that he is the only first order ship, so synergy outside of Akbar assist bonus is unlikely in the future. Fleet shipments, galactic war shipments for this ship. Biggs Darklighter X-Wing. It says dark side, but it's actually a light side, so there's a little flub there. Biggs is a meta arena character, and so it is only fitting that his ship is a force when paired with target locking attackers, protection buffs, and retribution. The only auto taunt in the game whose pilot is farmable, he will be a key member of your arena and ship arena teams for the foreseeable future. Fleet shipments, galactic war shipments. Number 1, Jedi Consulars Starfighter. It's a light side ship. There was no greater shame than announcing in guild chat that your Jedi Consular is Gear 11. The character that helped drag you through the first Galactic Wars before being left on the curbside is back with the most flexible, useful, and easily farmable ship around. His assist allows you to select the attacker and grant it protection bonuses. His heal will help you 3-star your light side challenges. There is no better early game ship around. Fleet shipments, Galactic War shipments, 8B Dark Side Hard Node for Jedi Consulars Starfighter. Okay, now we're going to look at the capital ships. Coming in at number 3, there's only 3, so bottom on the list, Mace Windu's Endurance. A capital ship with an AoE that requires target lock, a single target buff that is easily countered, and a buff that relies on your team being heavily damaged. This ship is a hot mess. The only use is unlocking the ship enhancement droid challenge. Grand Moff Tarkin's Executrix. Capital ship with enormous buffs to Empire ships and a devastating ultimate with widespread target lock. This ship is limited by the small number of Empire ships available. And take a wild guess who's going to come in at number 1. Believe it or not, it's going to be Admiral Akbar's Home 1. A capital ship that grants assist, buffs assisting attackers, and has a dominant ultimate ability. Without an Empire fleet readily available, this capital ship is the best option by a huge margin. So there you have it. We get this question all the time about ships. Who should I go for? What should I do? What are the synergies? Which we'll get into more in a few minutes here when we get into the guide. But this gives you a great overview. And let's see. Final thoughts. Worst 3 ships to farm in the early game. So this is a little bonus for you. Worst 3 ships to farm in the early game. For every good choice, there's always a bad choice. These ships may be amazing months from now, but right now your resources are better spent elsewhere. Number 1 is 5's Umbaran Starfighter. Always read the fine print. This ship has enormous damage potential, but his basic grants big turn meter gains to his target and does not become effective until well leveled. This ship should be avoided at all costs until you have nothing else to spend on. Number 2, Millennium Falcon from Episode 7. Unless you are extremely lucky or extremely generous in your contributions to Capital Games, this ship will be on the shelf. If you do decide to finish for an unlock, realize that getting this ship to 7 stars is a pricey endeavor and requires maximizing Finn and otherwise useless character. Keep your sights on something more reliable, like Millennium Falcon Episode 4, maybe? Number 3, Bistan's U-Wing. This is a good ship that can be used on a variety of squads to stealth, buff damage, spread target lock, and spread massive team-wide turn meter gain. To get the ship to be effective, you need to gear Pathfinder, a rarely used character, then farm and gear Bistan, which sacrifices fleet shipment currency, and then farm Scimitar and Geonosian Spy. Save your time and energy and stick with something else. So there you have it. What are your guys' thoughts on the capital ships and ships to farm first early game guide?
So yeah, the Jedi Consulars, obviously, well, for me, has been the most common thing that comes up in Ship Arena or in Cantina and all that kind of stuff, where you can get their, not Cantina, Arena shipments that come in, and the Galactic War shipments. He comes up the most often. Like, you can sometimes have 2 slots for him, so he's a really easy farm. And in terms of what we were saying before, of it's an early guide and it's evolving. We're saying that Mace Windu's ship is probably the worst capital ship right now, but I just ran into the top 10 and there's one in there and I could not get past him. He seemed to have like incredible speed and would get a capital ship assist like every 2 moves, and I just couldn't beat him because I would just time out. So we still don't quite know what's good and what's not, but right now on the surface early game, that's what it seems to be.
Yeah, I was going to add to that as well. That is a great starting guide. But as you get like Rex's ship and the Republic ships geared up, Mace Windu is the best offensive capital ship in the game. You can keep giving turn meter and taunts, and no one can beat you. So that is late game if you're going for a defensive strategy, and it's good for challenges as well.
Yeah, it's a little further down the line, but if you're starting out and you're not spending a whole lot and you're taking your time, which most people are probably going to be, this is a good place to get started. But just bear in mind, things will change and are going to evolve, because that's just the nature of the beast. So this is a good ground level to come in on. It's not going to do you any harm to have this as your foundation, but be aware that you will be chasing metas just like any other part of the game.
And also, Akbar is a great raid character too. So most people have him geared. So
yep, that's true.
Why.
Now, Ariston, you unlocked the advanced X1, right? Darth Vader ship?
I did, and on offense, it is a blast to play, especially if you get the rarer ships like Slave 1 and even 5's ship, because the target lock doesn't go away as long as he's alive. So you can just keep giving target lock, and then one of your abilities that hits everything with target lock just decimates their whole team. So on offense, it's a blast to play. Now on defense, they could probably target it down very quickly, so it might not stay very long. But I paired it with a couple of auto taunts like Wigs and Sun Fac, so it's a great ship. It's a lot of fun to play.
Nice. And did you get it completely 7-starred?
No, I got it 4-star, but even if I got it 7-star, I don't have nearly enough ship credits to even star it. So
yeah, that's true. It is very expensive to do that. We'll get into that here in just a minute on the guide once we break into that section. Any last comments on the capital ships and the ship's early game guide?
It was a great guide,
No, I
actually.
think
Does anybody else find that there's not enough credits at all for these ships?
Yeah, it's like we'll get into that here in a minute when we get in that guide. I think it's like 5 million credits to rank up a ship. Now there's no credit heist for ships yet, so makes it very difficult. So this is. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say it is in the ship resources. A lot of people miss that. It's a new tab.
Yeah, if you buy the packs.
Yeah, so when you go to the data cards now, you used to lay them all out in one big swipe across kind of row, but now they split it up in the update. So they've done a little sorting out. Now all your resources, so that's credits and ship credits and all the bits and pieces. Obviously, if you're only in the ship store, those will come up. But when you're just in the main area, there's a tab for resources, which will get you to that kind of stuff. So it hasn't disappeared, and
Yeah,
you can get.
It looks
ship
pretty
credits
expensive.
out of.
I was looking at
It
it.
is.
Yeah.
It's the only place you can buy that sort of for free is Cantina. It's in there, and it comes up at 200 Cantina credits or 400 for either. I think it's like 42K or
42,000, yeah.
84K.
Yeah, 84.
Respectively.
84.
So yeah, it's. I'm
Well,
still
the
haven't
two
quite
buys
figured
are
out if
pretty
that's good value or not. So
Yeah, so if you see someone with
Nothing else.
max ships, that's how they got it. Just if anybody was curious, they had to spend a lot of crystals on those credits. So
Spend those
Yeah,
dollar bills, y'all. This is another TeamSkunk.com presentation brought to you by Mac Media Artist Collective and sponsored by Loot Crate. Get 10% off from Lord Skunk at lordskunk.com/Loot Crate. Get your Loot Crate for Christmas, baby. All right, now we want to get into the ship's guide. Now, I'm very excited about this guide. I've been talking about the guide. I mean, the AAT tank guide was released the day tank AAT was released. I mean, we already had that thing up and running. That thing was ready to go. We just fleshed it out over time. A little bit slower on the ships just because it's such a big update. There's just so much going on, with ships and there's obviously, there's 20 plus ships that were released, then there's these challenges, and then there's these fleet commanders, and there's all this other stuff, that go into it. It's not just the ships we got to level and gear, it's these characters, the pilots, the crew that go along with it. So it was a lot involved with the ship. So it took us a little longer to put together a guide that we thought was good enough for the community to take a look at. So I'm going to pull this guide up. Now, Mage Ducky from Team Skunk was a huge contributor to this. Now, one of the people that also helped him with this guide, getting some of the power damage and stuff for ships was Skycrack, who has like every freaking ship, like 7 stars. Crazy. I mean, being in a guild with him is very demoralizing. Kind of exciting, but demoralizing. Wouldn't you agree, Ariston, seeing all that, all those ships being 7-star every day and all the other stuff that goes on, and it's crazy.
yeah, him and Kroon, I think, would absolutely nuts with it. So
Yeah, well, here's the thing: I'd rather be with them than against them. So it works out good that they're members of Team Skunk. So I feel blessed in that aspect. So I'm gonna get the guide pulled up here. We are looking at the 7-star max geared gameplay of Dr. Nocard from Team Skunk. He's got Bistan, Chirrut, and Baze Malbus. If you haven't checked out that video I put together on the channel, make sure you head over and look at that a little bit later tonight. It's pretty dominant there. Did you guys get a chance to look at that team? Anybody? No?
no, like I said, a lot of us we've been focusing on getting this guild heroic and filling it out and keeping it running. So we haven't had a lot of time to focus on ships this week, unfortunately.
It's probably a good thing you haven't seen this video of Dr. Nocard's 7-star Chirrut, Baze, and Bistan, because it's nuts, dude. I mean, it's just straight nuts. It's a scary team.
I've
It's
actually
devastating.
been farming that as my arena team, and I don't have Bistan, but I do have Boba Fett as a lead, and it's almost unbeatable. So I will say that the Baze Chirrut combo is, and I only have Chirrut at 4-star. It's amazing. It's one of the funnest teams I've ever played.
So let me put it this way. He went up against a meta team in Arena, and he did not attack B2. He did not attack B2 until the very end, and he still ended up three-manning it at the end. So he had 3 guys left not attacking B2. So it's pretty crazy. I mean, so you can see what it'd be like on defense. It's going to be a very tough team to beat. So very interesting. So if you haven't checked out that video, make sure that you pop over to the channel and check that out. But now I want to get into the ultimate ships guide. Okay, what we've all been waiting for, all of us. So here it is, lordskunk.com, the ultimate ship guide, brought to you by lordskunk.com and the members of Team Skunk. Now, the ship's guide was released on Monday, November 21st of 2016. That was exactly 1 month after the AAT Tank Takedown was released. I didn't realize that. So it was pretty cool. And there was a ton of other changes and updates that were added for characters, but right now we're going to focus on just the ships. Last live show, we went over the changes to the characters. But this guide has everything you could want. So before you begin, okay, when we get into the guide, and this guide will be updated often. Ariston, Malyabeen, Skycrack, Dr. Nocard, all of our high-level players in Team Skunk, along with all the other members of the various Team Skunk guilds, will be fleshing this guide out over time, but it's pretty in-depth right now. Parts of the guide have been put into a Google spreadsheet that you can access here. So when you click this link It brings up this crazy spreadsheet. I mean, it's got everything in here. So this is a ship's tool guide. Now you can let me see how you do it. You have to go to File, Make a Copy. So go to File, Make a Copy, and you can save your own copy of this, and it will show you your ship's acquisition countdown timer. So it'll show you where you can acquire these ships and how long it's going to take you to acquire them. So that's crazy. The target lock has got it goes over all the different abilities for what characters target lock, how they use it, and what to do there. So it's pretty cool. Ships leveling. So total ship cost. Let's just cheat and go down to the end. Total ship cost is going to be 56,000 XP. Wow, is that right? That's crazy. Total cost. Here we go. Sorry. 4.9 million. So 5 million basically to take a ship from 0 to 85, which as a character that doesn't sound that big of a deal, but ships is just so difficult to get this material. It makes it difficult. So we have a pilot rating, ship's pilot location. I mean, everything that you could want in this guide is there. So this is the tool that goes with this guide. So it's not just a guide, it's also a tool, and you can actually plan out and how to farm your characters and how long it's going to take you to get them, so you'll know how to progress along in the game. So there's that, and then we have pilot contributions. It's going to talk about how that affects those, and I know Ariston is very anal about this, so he'll be adding more to this, how each mod affects each character, the different styles of mod that affect him, the gear, the star level, all that good stuff that get into the crew rating is very important, so that's on there. Ship requirements, a breakdown of each ship challenge, so the capital ship upgrades for Akbar, Grand Moff Tarkin, Mace Windu is all on there. So just tons and tons and tons of information. Ship leveling, again, it's going to show you for each level how much it's going to cost you. So if you like to kind of save up those materials, you're able to do so and be able to get a ship ramped up rather quickly. It seems to be right now for a lot of people that aren't going crazy and buying a bunch of packs and resources like we just talked about. It seems like they're starting out with their capital ship at 70 and working up their main fleet to 60 and then kind of stair-stepping from there. So I'm kind of following that format myself. Target locks, which is a huge thing. Ariston, do you want to maybe talk about target locks a little bit and what that means? But there's a target lock section here, and it'll show you what characters will be able to create a target lock, what character can use a target lock, and a little bit about what that is. Ariston, do you want to just kind of weigh in a little bit on the target locks?
Yeah, the almost every ship has a secondary ability on their basic or their other attack that has a big bonus with the target lock. So you get a big advantage for the target locks. Now, usually they fall off pretty quickly. That's why a Darth Vader ship is really nice, because as long as he's alive, it doesn't fall off. So you can really take advantage of that. So the more that you get those target locks, the quicker you can take someone out before they can get healed up or get back in the game.
Now, one thing I would recommend doing for most people, I know myself, man, it's hard when you're in the game and you're looking at these different powers, especially if you already started a PvP battle. And you're kind of looking at your fleet commanders and some of your ships, and you're trying to think, what battle is this? What power is this? When should I use this? When should I do that? So a lot of us, and myself included, really, I'll do a lot of auto battles, man, because I know the AI is probably going to know these powers and abilities better than I will, at least at this stage. So this is a really cool option, or a really cool addition to the guide, is where he broke down the fleet commanders and each one of their abilities. It's a little bit easier to read. You can kind of digest this a little easier when you take a few minutes and just kind of go through these, and you can see their different powers. So it's got all the powers for Akbar, for Grand Moff Tarkin, with a brief overview about them, Mace Windu, which is really cool. And then with the reinforcements, so the higher star level you get of your ships, the more reinforcements you're going to get. Now, there's certain ships that are going to be better as a reinforcement. So the guide goes into that, which is great for me. I mean, there's just so much in this update that happened. I mean, it's just blowing people's minds. And again, we still got the AAT tank takedown raid, which is new. A lot of guilds, like we just found out from Talon and from McLeod and several other guilds out there, are just now foraying into heroic takedown, which takes a lot of time and effort. So that took them a little bit away from maybe mastering the ships in the game. I think this guide is going to be a great addition for all those out there that want to take a look and learn a little bit more about ships. And this is a little bit easier format to do that in. So he breaks down each ship and what they do and why they're good as a reinforcement, which is really cool. The ship acquisition timer, which is in that tool, that Excel sheet, which I just showed you guys earlier. So that's in there. Ship stats is in there. threat assessment. So this is gonna, we're gonna flesh this out over time. This kind of help you, give you an idea. I know some of us go into these battles, we're like, who do we target first? Or you target somebody first, you think is who you target, and the next thing you know, somebody's taunting, or or they're fully healed, and it's very frustrating for the majority of players that are trying to get into these ship battles. So this gives you a threat assessment section of the guide that's going to talk about each different character, what they do, and who you should take out first, and why you should take them out. On the good flip side to that is it's going to teach you how to use those characters as well within your fleet. What ships should you get? It goes into solo ships, and it talks about those, the synergies. So there's a lot of great synergies within the game that a lot of people might not be familiar with because they don't have all these characters unlocked. I just personally unlocked some fact today. I had to do it out of the guild, not guild shipments. Sorry, the ship shipment. We got so many shipments I can't even keep track of them. So the ship shipments, or the ship reward shipments, I had to unlock him so I could get his ship, so I could have another dark side character for those challenges. So a lot of people might not know about the Geonosian Synergies or some of these stealth synergies, other things of that nature. So it's all in here in this guide, and it breaks it down for you. And then we have, again, this guide was created by Mage Ducky. Special thanks to Skycrack, Dart 420, Christy Forey, Ender for grabbing all the pilot locations. So that's really cool. But they all work together to put this thing together. And like I said, all the Team Skunk is going to work to flesh out and continue to build this guide up. So this is something you definitely want to bookmark, save, and come back to often. And again, we released this with the Remon's ships update guide, a beginner's guide to ships video, which is on here. His ships are here. Introduction to ships video he did. We did the ships fleet commanders live show a couple of shows back. We did the ships opening pack. We did the update if you're curious to know what happened with all the different characters and these Zeta abilities. So tons of stuff there. And then of course all the links to all the other guides and things that we have over on loreskunk.com. So very, very, very in-depth guide. Make sure you head over and check that out. All kinds of great stuff in there. And again, we will continue to flesh it out. What did you guys think about the guide so far? I mean, I was very impressed with what Mage Ducky and the rest of them put together.
Yeah, the guide is absolutely awesome, especially for someone that's confused or just overwhelmed by all this stuff. It's an excellent read. I would recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, I'm learning stuff as I read through this.
Yeah,
there's a lot of info here.
Yeah, for me, I mean, it's just so much, and I mean, this is a great format for me. Like, I like this. I can pull this guide up on my phone. I can print certain sections of it out. I can, if I'm on my computer, I can pull it up there and obviously look at it that way. But it's just so much easier trying to look at the stuff in game, man. It's so overwhelming because a lot of times you get in and we don't have a ton of time. Sometimes we're in the game. You want to get your arena battle in for ships before the timer, before you reset. So you get in there and you're like, oh crap, I don't even know all my abilities. So this is a great way, a great tool to be able to get in there and learn a little bit more about these ships and flesh it out, because it is such a huge update. Hats off to EACG. I mean, this pretty much was released without a hitch for the most part. So they're getting a lot better.
Another great thing about the guide, too, is it's got a beginner and an advanced part to it. So if you're new, you can get a lot of good information. And if you want the advanced stuff, it's got that as well. So
yeah,
good job.
Yeah, pretty amazing stuff there. So make sure you head over and check that out. Again, you can always get to the site by going to loreskunk.com/ships. It'll bring you right into the guide. Feel free to share this with your guildmates and your friends. There is a share feature at the bottom of the guide. So that's pretty cool, man. So we're going to continue. I'm going to slave drive Ariston, Malubine, and Dr. No Card for sure to continue to flesh out this guide and add more to it over time. They did such a great job on the AAT takedown guide that we have. Which we probably need to get an update on that pretty soon. So much has changed on the AAT guide. We've been so busy with these ships and other stuff that we need to make sure we update that as well. So all kinds of good stuff over there at loreskunk.com. Make sure you head over and check it out. And you can view all the guides at loreskunk.com/guides. All kinds of goodies on there. Any last thoughts, guys, on the ships, on the guides, and anything related to that? Anything that we want to add from the show maybe we missed earlier?
No, I think we've covered a pretty good gamut of ships from start to finish, and like we said, it's going to evolve, and so is this guide. So this is a really new and exciting area of the game that everyone's just still learning. So stay tuned. Come back next week, and we'll probably have more for you then.
Yep. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. All right, let's get into these questions now. We got a ton of questions this week. So if you haven't done so, make sure you head over to Twitter throughout the week. You can use hashtag AskSkunk, follow Lord Skunk 1 on Twitter. Let me pull these up and we'll bust through these questions. Sorry again, guys, we had a little bit of technical difficulty, but even with that technical difficulty, we're still right on time. It's pretty good. So making good time today. All right, so we'll let Ariston start us off here. Ariston, you ready for a question?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. This is from Remus_X3. So this would be X8. So I think this would be, right? No, X13. Sorry. So Remus_13. Who should I level up to gear level 10 first? Fives, who's currently gear 8, or Shore Trooper, 4-star gear level 7? Love your live shows, by the way. Thanks, Remus.
Well, my first guess is Fives, just because he's an awesome character in almost every respect of the game. He was a hero in the Rancor, still is. I still use him in runs, and he's a ship pilot. Now, that being said, Shore Trooper is really solid in arena, but it's really hard to get him 7-star to put him in any kind of raid environment. So I would just, from just hearing that, I would do Fives first, unless you're really big in the arena and need that tank. So that would be my answer to that.
Anybody else want to weigh in?
I would also go with the Fives, unless you're running a full Empire team or working towards that.
And it is a lot.
Yeah,
They're both pretty tanky characters, so it takes a lot of gear for those characters. I just got my Shore Trooper to gear 11, and it does take a while.
Yeah, Fives is probably one of the most utility characters that just kind of fits in a lot of comps. He's just useful because of his general power once you get him leveled up, and the not retribution, forgot it. The counter, it's just valuable, and the speed down as well. He's just good all around everywhere in almost any comp as an extra just to throw in there.
All right, good deal. Okay, and then this comes from Andrew Bleakley. There is a lot of info out there about characters, arenas, raids, and ships. Where should the new player be focused? What do you guys think?
Probably arena to get your crystals and stuff. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just about to agree. Arena is probably one of the most important things when you're starting out for economy. If you don't have the crystals coming in, can't spend them.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. It is very difficult, and especially for some of us high-level players, with all these updates, with all these different raids and stuff, man, it's tough sometimes to get your payout, and it hurts. I mean, it definitely has a huge effect. Finishing first place and then finishing even like 10th place or 7th place or 5th place. So it's much more difficult with these mods and these different team comps and the way it is. You got to switch your team around, and it is harder to keep that higher rank for a lot of players now. All right, so this is coming from Steven Chirtano. Hope I'm saying that right. If I'm saving my fleet tokens for the Zeta mats for Qui-Gon Jinn's leader ability, what is the best Jedi team going to be? So obviously we're hypothesizing right now. We don't know for a fact, but what are you guys' thoughts on what the best Jedi team is going to be?
Yeah, so I've been working with Ode on this a lot. Me and him been talking about this, and I think you have to Zeta Yoda's battle meditation as well, and for that team to be extremely effective to beat the Wigs and the Boba Fett and the Empire meta. So it almost needs 40 Zetas to get Qui-Gon Jinn and Yoda, and you need Kenobi. If you have Kenobi, Yoda, and Qui-Gon, that team can now compete as a top team. But I think if you just Omega or Zeta Qui-Gon Jinn, it's not going to beat the up-and-coming Wigs Empire teams that you're going to see. It'll still be good. Don't get me. It'll probably help you in raids as well. But as far as like if we're talking about a top-tier team, I think you need all three in order to be a unbeatable type team.
Is that a General Kenobi or a Ben Kenobi?
No, General Kenobi. You have to have his. Well, Ode has him, so he's been playing with that, and he says it wasn't worth it until he put Kenobi in it because of all the utility you get. So that's obviously a very advanced, high-end in-game answer, But I was just saying I don't want people to. If you have a Zeta, you're already pretty high end too, but still, it needs to be put with those two characters in order to compete with the Wigs and the teams that are coming up. So
very good. Yeah, who do you think would be two other good characters? You got Qui-Gon Jinn, General Kenobi, and then you got Yoda. Who do you think two other good characters would be for Jedi?
probably Anakin and Ahsoka.
It's a good,
With
yeah,
the
with
two
the
I
natural
would-
synergy. Yep.
Yeah, that's the team I was going to put. Aya's was a good fit as well. So
All
What
right.
about Illuminara or something like that? Because she has that heel, General Kenobi. He's got that crazy everybody assists.
but
the
he
heel
has
thing,
to
right?
he has to lead though, and I'm sure if you Zeta
Oh, okay.
Qui-Gon, you're going to want him to lead. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
All right. And then Billy Gunn asks your question: who absolutely gets my next furnace? Stormtrooper Han, Biggs, or Wedge? They're all on his arena team. Who is his absolute next furnace going to?
Oh, that's a tough one. It really depends where your strength is and who you're fighting against. But sorry, what were the three again? So Biggs,
Stormtrooper Han,
or
Biggs, or Wedge?
I guess Stormtrooper Han, just because he gets more protection.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think
yeah,
so
I mean
too.
if
If you can get him to go up a gear level, it's great.
it sounds like you're running the Meta Wigs team. So yeah, if
The
you
longer
can, that's it. The longer he stays taunting and not dying, the longer you have to do damage with your other guys. However, if you're really not doing enough damage while Han's taunting with, you may need to put it on Big or Wedge just so that they hit harder, so that you're making the most of that time when he's taunting. But again, you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna have to figure out who your opponents are in your shard, and if you're lacking, what you feel like, why you lose most of your matches when you lose them.
also, another thing to think of is Biggs and Wedge do awesome just by having them and modding them. So they don't need a lot of extra help. So Stormtrooper Han does.
I didn't have a lot of respect for Stormtrooper Han for a long time until I got him to Gear 11. And once I got him to Gear 11, man, I mean, he's on my. I typically run two teams. I'll run a Rex kind of team, and then I'll run a kind of a Wigs team where I put in Wigs, Lando, and typically it'll be Stormtrooper Han and Shore Trooper, or sometimes I'll take Shore Trooper out, just depending on what I'm going up against. But Stormtrooper Han, when you get him to Gear 11, I mean, it does make a big difference on that character. A big difference. And getting all that turn meter back when he's getting hit is great. So I would say, again, the consensus seems to be Stormtrooper Han for that particular scenario. So get Stormtrooper Han up and then focus on okay, so let's do that. So we'll do a part 2 to his question. After you get Stormtrooper Han up, who should he focus on next, Biggs or Wedge?
Probably Wedge, just because I like Wedge better. They're both really close.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say Wedge, because he's, in terms of survivability, he's a little more squishy than the Biggs is. He's quite tanky and stays around a little longer. Wedge is kind of weak for a while, so he really benefits more from the added gear levels, and Biggs can survive without it longer. So your priority would probably be to shore up Wedge there first.
Yeah, I would also go with the Wedge route there. He's really heavy hitter, and most people do attack Wedge first before going to the Bigs. So.
Yep, good points. Good points. All right, and again, if you want to ask your question to have it on next week's live show, make sure you head over to Twitter. Use hashtag AskSkunk. Follow @LordSkunk1 on Twitter. And we will be glad to answer those questions live on the air. Again, speaking of live on the air, don't forget we do have the $100 gift card giveaway. We're going to choose the winner, or the winner will be drawn live on the 23rd. Okay, so head over to lordskunk.com/gift card to get in for that drawing. It takes you just a couple minutes. You're in. A couple people said that they have an issue. There's a beginning intro video to watch to enter the drawing. They said it wasn't loading. Just hit refresh on it. I noticed it today. We get a lot of traffic to the site, so just hit refresh. It should pop up, and then that'll get you in to enter into the drawing. So if you guys haven't done it yet, make sure you guys go over there and do that too. Appreciate that. It's just basically liking us on Facebook, liking us or following us on Twitter. Where you're going to get all your good Star Wars Galaxy Heroes news anyways. Following us on Twitch, subscribing to the channel, which you've probably already done, so you get a bonus entry just for doing that. So it takes you just a few minutes to get in for that drawing. We'll be giving that away, that $100 gift card. Buy yourself some crystals or buy your family something, or go over to Gamefly or Loot Crate and get the special deals that you get from being a LoreScant.com viewer. So that's pretty cool stuff. I want to thank everybody that hung out with us tonight. Thanks everybody that watched the show. And we will see you guys again next Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 Central, 5:30 Pacific.